Hello students, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
My voice
afternoon,
is
sir.
clear.
Sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Let's start today's class. Today I am going to discuss about important diseases of banana. Prior to that, let us in brief discuss about the economic importance of this crop. What is the scientific name of banana? What is the scientific name of banana? Name is Musa paradisica. It belongs to a family called Musaceae, and it is the fourth largest food crop next to wheat, rice, and corn. Whether banana is called as a tree or shrub or it is a herb, what we'll call?
Herb.
Okay, very good. Banana is a herb. Okay, it is not a tree. And India is the leading producer of banana. Mainly, we'll cultivate this banana crop for its fruit. A cluster of banana is called as hand, and a single banana is called as a finger. Banana is rich in calcium, potassium, magnesium. In addition to this, it is also rich in number of vitamins. Okay, if anybody is suffering from any kind of mental depression, it is recommended to have 2 or 3 bananas. Do you know the reason why? Because bananas are rich in an amino acid called tryptophan and also a vitamin called B6, nothing but pyridoxine. This they lead to production of an hormone called serotonin. It reduces the mental depression. That's why if anybody suffering from any kind of depression, during that time try to take bananas. Okay, in addition to this, whether banana flower is edible?
Yes, sir.
Banana flower is edible? Okay, it is edible and it is used to prepare it. Even pseudostem is also edible. Do you know that? Pseudostem of banana. Both are edible. They used to prepare so many snacks as well as curries out of it. In addition to this, whether banana leaves, do we use banana leaves for which what purpose?
Has a plate.
Mm-mm. Very
Plate.
good. Okay. We use it as a plate. Why? Any reason why you'll use only banana leaf as a plate?
Because they can detect any toxic substance.
Pardon? Because?
Because the banana leaves detect any venom present in the food.
Okay. Generally, in case of generally in Andhra Pradesh, we used to take during festivals or any kind of ceremonies, we used to take food on banana. But if you observe in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, most of them they will take food in banana leaf. Okay, Tamilian considers it to be an act of respect to serve the guest in banana leaf. Most of the houses in Tamil Nadu and Kerala have banana trees in their backyard. Okay, what is the advantage of having food on banana leaf? Okay, this banana leaf is rich in so many polyphenols as well as antioxidants. Okay, when we'll keep a hot meal on the surface of the banana leaf, Okay, all these contents will be infused into the food and increases the aroma of the food also. So these antioxidants, phenols through our food we can directly intake. That's the reason we'll take generally food on banana leaf. Okay, you might have observed when you have visited any kind of functions or festival, any kind of ceremonies, we used to fold. There is a hidden meaning. If you fold a leaf towards us, there is one kind of meaning. If you fold leaf up in the opposite way, there is a kind of meaning. Do you know what is the exact meaning of that? Opposite to us means outside to us. Okay, if we fold the leaf towards us, it implies that you are satisfied with the food what they have provided and also the respect from them. Okay, if you are folding the leaf outside means that shows that you are not satisfied with the food what they have given. In addition to that, you are not convinced with the hospitality of the people. That implies actually. Okay, so when in future if you attend any kind of death ceremonies, okay, you have to fold, whether you will fold it inside or you will fold it outside. Okay, if you fold it inside means that implies that you are very happy because of his death. So don't do that. You have to fold it outside. That implies that you are really feeling sorrow and you are expecting such kind of incidents not to happen in future in their home. Okay, that is the hidden meaning folding of leaf. Okay, in our generally it is a tradition and as a culture it will be practiced in many homes also. Okay, then coming to important diseases of banana. The first disease is yellow cicotoca. It is caused by a fungus called Mycosphaerella musicola. And black cicotoca, it is caused by Mycosphaerella fijiensis. The second fungal disease, that is Panama wilt, caused by a fungus called Fusarium oxysporum Forma specialis cubens. And the third one, that is a bacterial disease. It is called Moco disease or bacterial wilt, caused by a bacterium called Ralstonia solanacearum. Then another bacterial disease, Erwinia rhizome rot, caused by Erwinia keratopora subspecies keratopora. There is also another species called Erwinia chrysanthemi. In addition to this, so many viral diseases used to infect banana. One major among them is banana bunchy top. It is also called as curly top, cabbage top or strangill disease. Is caused by a virus called banana bunchy top virus. Then another disease, banana mosaic, is also called as infectious sclerosis or hot rot, is caused by a virus called cucumber mosaic virus. Then the last disease, that is banana bract mosaic, caused by a virus called banana bract mosaic virus. Okay, coming to the first disease, that is yellow cicotoca, caused by a fungus called Mycosphaerella musicola. This is the perfect stage, whereas the imperfect stage it is called as Pseudocercospora musae. Whereas black cicotoca is caused by another species called Mycosphaerella fijiensis. Its imperfect stage is Pseudocercospora fijiensis. What is the meaning of cicotoca? Okay, the name cicotoca was given when it is found in epidemic form in the plains of Cicotoca in Fiji Islands during the year 1930. Okay, Fiji is an island near Australia. Okay, this disease has occurred as epidemic form during the year 1930 in a place called Cicotoca. That's why they named it as Cicotoca disease. Okay, it is worldwide. It is a serious disease, and in India, black Cicotoca is not present. Whereas in case of Fiji, black cicotoca is present. Okay, so they named that disease as a species as Fijiensis. That's where how the name cicotoca has come. Then coming to the symptoms, initially you will be seeing development of reddish brown color spots on the lower surface of the leaves will be seen. Lower leaves means whether they are younger leaves or older leaves. Okay,
Older leaves.
that are older leaves. Okay. Slowly what will happen is the spots will enlarge in size and turn into a spindle shape. You can see here the spot is spindle shape with a dark brown margin and grayish center, and the entire spot will be surrounded by an yellow halo. Okay, this is the characteristic symptom of Sigatoka leaf spot. Okay, you can clearly see number of spots, number of spindle shaped spots on the lower leaves. You can observe a dark brown margin having a grayish center surrounded by an yellow halo. Eventually, the spots will enlarge in size and several spots will coalesce with each other. Means they will combine with each other, and it leads to drying up of the entire leaf, as we have observed here. And underdeveloped fruit bunches are produced from such type of infected plants. Okay, these are the typical symptoms of Sigatoka, that is yellow Sigatoka. Coming to the survival and spread, primary source. Okay, Mycosphaerella comes under which subdivision or which phylum? This is a very important bit also. We are not knowing to which phylum it belongs. Mycosphaerella. It belongs to subdivision Ascomycotina. If it is a new classification, it is called as phylum. It is Ascomycota. Okay, try to revise your 171 course. Okay, this Mycosphaerella produces a sexual fruiting body called ascostroma. Okay, this is the ascostroma. You might have studied different types of ascocarps: Clistothecium, Perithecium, Apothecium, ascostroma, Pseudothecium. Okay, these are all the sexual fruiting bodies. One among them is ascostroma. Inside this ascostroma, you will be seeing number of asci. Okay, these are asci. They are sac-like structures. The fungi which comes under Ascomycota, they are also called as sac fungi. This is the reason, because they have a sac-like structures called asci. Inside the asci, you will be seeing the production of so many ascospores. Generally, how many ascospores they produce?
8.
8, sir.
Okay, you can count it. You can see 8 ascospores. Okay, so the primary source of infection is generally through ascostroma. This is the sexual fruiting body, or ascospores that survives on infected plant debris, acts as primary source of infection. And the secondary source or secondary spread is through conidial stage, that is nothing but Pseudocercospora musae. They produces filiform multi-celled conidia. Okay, this acts as secondary source of infection, and this conidia will spread through wind as well as rain. Whether Mycosphaerella and Pseudocercospora both are different or same fungi? I have given two names here: Mycosphaerella musicola and Pseudocercospora musae. Whether these two are same fungi or they are different?
Same.
Same, sir.
Okay, very good. Exactly. They both are same. Okay, just the name represent the stage. That's it. Okay, when the fungus is in this stage, we call it as Mycosphaerella. When the fungus attains the asexual stage, we will call it as Pseudocercospora. Do you know the reason why they gave two names? Everyone has only one name. If you have two names, it leads to confusion. Then why they have named it as two names? Do you know reason? No?
Because they are in the Because they have different morphologies.
They have different morphologies. That's why they named with two different names. Okay, you are almost. The thing is, when have you heard about imperfect fungi? About Deuteromycotina, have you heard or studied in your 171?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The thing is, when they have discovered, suppose for example, I am saying, first they have discovered a fungus called Pseudocercospora. First you think that they have discovered a fungus and they named it as Pseudocercospora musae based upon its conidial character. They named it as such. But when they discovered this one, they were not knowing what is its sexual stage at the time of discovery. So they named with a name called Pseudocercospora musae. In due course of time, they came to know that this fungi is also producing the sexual stage, or this fungi is also having or reproducing through sexual means, and they identified it through Ascostroma and they named it as with another name. Then they came to know later on both these two are same fungi. They are nothing but different in stages. That's the reason they have kept all the fungi which reproduces through asexual means into a separate subdivision called Deuteromycotina. That's the reason you might have been studied. In Deuteromycotina, you will be studying asexual stage, whereas in Ascomycotina, you will be studying the sexual stage. Both are same. Okay, that's the thing. Are you following me regarding this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
They are not different. Okay, try to remember they are not different. Both are same. Just that names represents the stage. Okay, that's the thing. How we are having at childhood, we'll have some other name. At elder age, we'll have some other name, just like that. Okay. Then coming to the favorable conditions, high humidity, heavy dew, and rainy weather highly favors the development of this disease. In addition to this, ill-drained conditions as well as closer planting also favors the disease. In addition to this, can you observe what are these structures? What are these?
Suckers.
Okay, suckers. Okay, presence of more number of suckers in a mat also favors the development of the disease. In addition to this, growing of susceptible cultivars like dwarf Cavendish, giant Cavendish, and granite. Okay, all these are highly susceptible for Cicotoca leaf spot. Okay, all at present, most of the farmers are cultivating these Cavendish varieties because they are having high market value, but they are highly susceptible to this Cicotoca leaf spot. Can you say why rainy weathers is highly favored for the disease? Rainy weather. If there are more rains, what will happen? The conidia can spread easily because the conidia spreads through wind and rain. So there is a more chances of spreading of the conidia. So heavy rains favors the development of the disease. Closer planting, if plants are very close with each other, they are saying that they are noticing more disease. What is the reason? So the spread of the disease will be very easy if they are very close with each other. Now at present we are telling it as maintain social distance. Means we have to be far from the infected person. Okay, if you are very close, the chances of getting infection is more. That's the reason. And even more number of suckers. If there are more number of suckers, then easily the disease can spread. That's the reason. These are all the favorable conditions. Based upon the favorable conditions, we can go for management practices. Okay, can we alter humidity, dew, and rains? Whether it is there in our hands?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Then how ill-drained conditions I am saying. How can we manage ill-drained conditions?
By proper drainage.
Okay, we have to maintain proper drainage facilities in the field. Okay, if not that, what is the alternate measure? If you are not able to maintain drainage facilities, then
Changing of irrigation method.
changing of, very good. drip irrigation. Very good. Then closer planting. Can we alter this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That is going
Whites,
for
the
optimum
whites, yes.
sowing. Very good. Then I'm saying that susceptible cultivars. So alternate thing is
Resistant cultivars.
we have to cultivate resistant cultivars. Then I'm saying more suckers in a mat. So what you have to do?
Desagering.
Okay, we have to remove
Desuckering,
the
sir.
suckers. Timely removal of the suckers. Very good. So we have the management practices goes like this: selecting or maintaining well-drained soils, or changing the irrigation pattern, or providing drip irrigation, and recommended density. Okay, that is 1000 number of plants per acre. It is the optimum population recommended per acre. And timely pruning of the suckers from a mat prevents the disease. Then coming to the management, growing of resistant varieties like Karpura Chekkarkeli, it is resistant to Sigatoka leaf spot. In addition to this, management. So I have already said that heavy rains favors the disease, but the problem is most of the farmers are going for cultivating these Cavendish varieties, because the problem is these Cavendish varieties are highly resistant to Panama wilt. Okay, Panama wilt is a very severe disease in banana. So most of them, it is very difficult. Panama wilt is very difficult to manage. But Sigatoka leaf spot we can manage if you take some preventive measures. And this Cavendish varieties is having high market value. Even though they are susceptible to Sigatoka leaf spot, most of the farmers are preferring to go with these varieties. Okay, if they are growing these varieties, means we have to take some preventive measures. Okay, before the arrival of the monsoon, before rainy season, it is recommended to spray either Dithane M45, it is nothing but Mancozeb, or chlorothalonil. Okay, it is recommended at the rate of 0.2%, that is 2 gram per liter of water, along with 1% mineral oil. 1% means 1 ml in 1 liter of oil before monsoon period. We have to spray this fungicide. Okay, I have added here 1% of mineral oil, but I have not said for other crops. Why I am recommending mineral oil here? Can anyone say? In previous management practices, I never said we have to add mineral oil along with the fungicide. Why I am saying only in banana?
Leaves are very smooth.
Very smooth.
They cannot.
Okay, you are almost. Okay, everybody
That's
might have at
important.
least taken food on banana leaf at least once, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, before taking food on banana leaf, we used to wash the leaf. We used to sprinkle the water on the surface of the leaf. Okay, during that time, can you observe droplets of water?
Yes, sir.
Why? What is the reason why it is forming like a droplets? Means it is not properly wetting. Then we'll keep our hand, our palm on it, and then we'll spread the water uniformly. Otherwise, the water will be as in the form of drops. Why? What is happening there?
Presence of wax.
Wettability less, sir.
Okay, very good.
Leaf.
Why that wettability? Okay, very good. You are perfect. There is lack of wettability. Why? What is the reason? Because the surface of the leaf is coated with wax. Okay, that is the reason we can't wet it properly. In the same way, if you are spraying the fungicide also, fungicide is mixed with water. What will happen then? Whatever the fungicide you spray on the leaf, automatically that will be fall down. So we can't manage the disease perfectly. That's the reason if we add the mineral oil, it acts like a sticker or an adhesive material. So it will spread the fungicide uniformly on the surface of the leaf. That's the reason. Okay, if you are telling to the farmer to spray Dithane M45 or Kavach, but even if he is not adding mineral oil, you cannot control the disease effectively. Okay, are you following me? It is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is the reason we have to add mineral oil. Okay, immediate, that is before rainy season. Then after attaining or during rainy season, one of the best fungicide recommended for controlling of this leaf spot is propiconazole. In the market, it is available as tilt. Okay, it is highly effective for managing this Sarcospora leaf spot or this Sigatoka leaf spot. Alternating with another fungicide, Tridimar, in the market it is available as Calyxin. Okay, these two are very effective fungicides for managing this disease. If we spray, we can easily manage this disease. That's about Sigatoka leaf spot. Coming to the second disease, and it is a very serious disease, that is called Panama wilt, caused by a fungus called Fusarium oxysporum Pharma specialis cubensis. Why they named it as Panama? Do you know where Panama is? Okay, Panama is a place in Central America. It connects North America and South America. Here you can see near Caribbean islands. Okay, it is a Panama is an island. Okay, in this place during the year 1950, and this fungus has caused an epidemic, has occurred in epidemic form during the year 1950 in this place. So they named this disease as Panama wilt. Almost it destroyed 40,000 hectares of a popular variety called Gros Michel. It was one of the popular variety of banana commercially grown during the time, which is having very fine taste. Okay, this variety has lost. Okay, now we cannot see this variety. This variety has been entirely wiped off because of this disease. So that's the reason at present this Gros Michel variety has been entirely wiped out. In the place of this, we are going for Cavendish bananas, because these Cavendish banana are somewhat resistant to Fusarium wilt. That's the reason. There are 4 races of this pathogen, but in India, race 1 is highly prevalent and it is highly virulent also. Okay, so try to remember, this is very important for competitive exam, which type of race of Fusarium is prevalent in India. That is race 1 of Fusarium oxysporum Pharma species cubensis. Race 1 is prevalent in India and it is highly virulent also. Then coming to the symptoms, generally symptoms are observed on older plants, the two on the older leaves. Can you observe? Yellowing of older leaves is seen, and the leaves break at the point of the petiole and they hang around the stulostem. Then another typical symptom is longitudinal splitting of the pseudostem. You can observe here longitudinal splitting of the pseudostem is seen. This is another typical symptom of Panama wilt. In addition to this, when you take a cross section of an infected stem, you can see brown discoloration of vascular bundles. Do you know the reason why? Do you remember in previous class have explained?
Because they habitat in the vascular bundles.
Very good, perfect. Then because they will multiply in the, there are 3 reasons. One reason is they will multiply inside, or they will multiply inside the vascular bundles. That is one reason. And infection of this fungus induces the production of tylosis. That is another reason. And the third one is they produces a toxin called fusaric acid. Okay, that's the reason you will be observing this discoloration. Okay, as they are clogging the xylem vessels, as a result, what will happen? Can you observe? This is the xylem vessels. It is clogging the entire and causing discoloration, and the death of vascular bundle is going to occur. As a result, what will happen? It will obstruct the flow of the water. When it obstructs the flow of water, you can see yellowing of leaves, drooping of leaves, and finally, that is nothing but wilting. And another, you can observe very clearly here, the discoloration first appears on the outer leaves and slowly that will extend inside the inner sheets. Okay, first the discoloration will appear on the outer sheets and slowly it will spread to inner sheets. And if you take the rhizomes of the affected plant, suppose in the field, if you no need to observe any kind of the symptoms. If you go nearby the infected plant, you can observe some fishy odor smell. If you are observing that fishy odor smell, means damn sure you can say that it is Panama wilt. That is because due to the presence of an isolate called odoratum isolate. Odoratum is an isolate. This isolate is having the ability to produce this fishy smell. Okay, there is also another isolate called inodoratum. That isolate do not produce any kind of fishy smell. Okay, that is there are two isolates which produces smell, and there is another isolate which do not produce this smell. Okay, these are the characteristic symptoms of Panama wilt. Then another symptom, affected plants generally they do not produce any kind of bunches. Okay, if at all they produces bunches, they will be malformed and they ripen prematurely and uneven. Infected plants generally they do not produce any kind of bunches. Even if they produce, the size of the bunch will be very less and the fruits are malformed and uneven ripening will be seen. Okay, few fruits will ripe whereas few fruits won't ripe. And these pathogens do not cause infection to the fruits. These are the typical symptoms. And coming to survival and spread, primary source, okay, that is nothing but through chlamydospores that they are surviving on the soil as well as on the infected suckers, acts as primary source of infection, and secondary source is through two types of conidia, that is macroconidia and microconidia, that spreads through irrigation water. Then coming to the favorable conditions, ill-drained conditions and presence of an nematode called Rhabdophilus similis will predispose this disease. Okay, in previous class also I have discussed about one nematode which predisposes wilt disease. Can you name that? In which fruit crop?
Spiral lemon.
Guava.
Okay, in guava wilt, what is the name of the nematode? Helicotylenchus dihystra. Okay, there that nematode will predisposes the disease. I have mentioned the reason also, because these nematodes causes injuries on the roots as it is a soil-borne pathogen. If more injuries are present on the root surface, then the chances of entry of this fungus through the roots will increase. That's the reason. Then growing of susceptible cultivars like Kalpuravalli, and already I mentioned about Grow Mitchell. Okay, how this variety has been wiped out. It is highly susceptible to Panama wilt in addition to Amrutapani. All these are highly susceptible to Panama wilt. Then coming to management, the same way based upon the favorable conditions, we can manage the disease, providing well-drained soils, drip irrigation, or using disease-free suckers, because the pathogen can spread through suckers. So we have to select a sucker free from the disease. And one of the best alternate practice is tissue culture. Most of the farmers nowadays, they will prefer tissue culture plants. Okay, they will be free from diseases. In addition to this, there is a very important practice for managing this disease that is called flood fallowing. Means we have to flood the field and we have to leave it as such for 6 months to 12 months. Even some farmers will practice for 1 month. Okay, if it is as such, if you are flooding the field as such for 1 month and maximum 6 months to 12 months, the incidence of the disease will be less. Can you name why? Can you say why it is so? Reason behind that? Anyone? Okay, the reason is, okay, if you are flooding the field as such, what will happen? Whether the oxygen levels will get depleted or it will be increased.
Decreases.
Okay, the oxygen level will be decreased. Okay, fusarium requires oxygen for its growth. Okay, as the depletion of the due to depletion of oxygen levels inside the soil, the fusarium cannot survive and it leads to death of the fusarium. That is one reason. Another reason, under these conditions you will be seeing the production of large amount of acetic acid, and this acetic acid is highly toxic to the fungus. Thereby the inoculum will be reduced inside the soil. The another reason is, as the oxygen level decreases, the concentration of CO2 will be increased, and under high concentration of CO2, the conidia of the fusarium will germinate. After germination, it leads to death of the conidia. Okay, the germinated conidia cannot develop into mycelium because of lack of oxygen. Okay, thereby we can reduce the inoculum level inside the soil. Okay, this practice has come long back from America. Okay, I said that this disease has occurred in Panama. Okay, later on this disease has spread across the world, and during that days it is very difficult to manage this disease. Once the orchard is infected with this disease, means it is very difficult to control. During that days, what they were doing is this is the only option for them. They used to flood the field for 6 months. After that, they used to go for planting these banana plants. Then the disease is highly suppressed. Okay, so try to remember, flood fallowing is recommended for the control of Panama wilt of banana. Okay, I have mentioned the reason. One is due to lack of oxygen, the fusarium cannot survive, and another reason is increased acetic acid will kill the pathogen, and increased CO2 concentration makes the conidia to germinate and thereby prevents the spread of the fungus. So I am saying that flooding the field for 6 to 12 months, whether it is economical to the farmer, he has to keep his flood fallow for 6 months and 12 months. Instead of that, one best practice is, you can, instead of keeping fallow for 6 months or 12 months, you can do crop rotation with rice. Okay, you will get income through rice, as well as you can reduce this disease. Okay, this is alternate practice with this. Okay, try to remember, flood fallowing is very important practice. Then coming to the biological, as it is a soil borne pathogen, so we can recommend applying Trichoderma viridae. Can anyone explain how this Trichoderma is multiplied? Anyone please? Because I have said so many times. Please respond.
Sir,
How this
we can
Trichoderma
mix
is multiplied?
90
Please.
90 kg of FIM
Okay.
and
You have
10
to take
kg of neem cape
2 kg of neem cake.
and 1 kg of Trichoderma viridae.
Okay, it is 90 kg of farmyard manure and 10 kg of neem cake and 2 kg of Trichoderma. We have to take and we have to mix it
under shade.
properly. And we have to incubate it under shade for 20 days. Then you can see rapid multiplication of the Trichoderma viridae, that is called enriched farmyard manure. This farmyard manure we have to apply 1 to 2 kg for each plant. Okay, it gives an effective control measure. Then coming to the resistant varieties, I have already said Cavendish varieties are highly resistant to Panama wilt, like some called Poovan, some called Basrai. They are highly resistant for Panama wilt. But these Cavendish varieties are susceptible to which disease?
Sigatoka.
To Sigatoka disease. Then coming to chemical management, we have, before sowing, we have to dip the suckers in carbendazim at the rate of 0.2%, means you have to take 2 grams in 1 liter of water, and you have to dip in that solution. You have to dip the suckers. After dipping, you have to sow the suckers in the field. That is one practice. And another practice is soil drenching of with 0.2% carbendism will somehow controls this disease. That's about Panama wilt. Then coming to the next disease, that is Moko disease. It is also called as bacterial wilt caused by a fungus called Ralstonia solanacearum. Okay, here Moko means Moko is not a place. Okay, Panama is a place, Sigatoka is a place, but Moko is not a place. Okay, it is the name of a plantain. What do you mean by plantain? Anyone? Plantain. Do you know the meaning of plantain? Okay, it is nothing but a fruit. Okay, generally banana will consume it as a fruit. Okay, there are some varieties of banana which are highly rich in starch. Okay, they are used as a vegetable. Okay, such type of fruits are called as plantain. In that, Moko is one among them. Okay, Moko is a type of a plantain in banana. Okay, because of this disease, this Moko disease has eliminated this entire Moko plantain in a place called Trinidad during the year 1890. Okay, it is also an island in between North America and South America. In this island, this Ralstonia solanacearum has completely eliminated this Moko plantain. So they named this disease as Moko disease or Moko wilt. Okay, now you see. It is, I am saying it is a wilt. Okay, how can you differentiate this Moko wilt with that of Panama wilt? Can you say
We
anyone
can
from?
see on typical
Their old leaves are
Upper leaf
here
are
affected
Very
and young
good.
leaves also affected.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, in case of Panama wilt, I said that generally infection is seen on older leaves. But in case of Moko disease or Moko wilt, infection is severe in case of young growing plants. In addition to this, yellowing of younger leaves is seen. There you are seeing yellowing of older leaves. Here you are seeing yellowing of younger leaves. That is the typical symptom. In addition to this, the leaves will break at the point of the petiole and all the leaves will hang around the pseudo stem, same like that of Panama wilt. Then what is this? When you take a cross section of a pseudo stem, you can see brown discoloration of the vascular bundles. Then how can you differentiate this discoloration with that of Panama wilt? Please, someone. How can you differentiate?
From Panama, it's from the outer to the inner.
Okay.
But in Moko disease, it's from the inner to the outer space.
Okay, it's perfect. Okay, what you have said is perfect. Okay, in case of Panama, there you are seeing discoloration first starts from outer leaf, then it spreads to the inner leaf. But in case of Moko wilt, here the discoloration will proceed from the inner leaf and it will starts from inner leaf and it will proceed slowly to the outer leaf. Okay, that is the difference from Panama wilt. In addition to this, when you will take a cross section of an infected pseudostem, what is this? What you can observe? This is called bacterial ooze. Okay, this is the bacteria colonizing the vascular tissue. You can see how it has colonized. When you will cut it, you can see oozing of the bacteria from the infected stem. Okay, did you observe such kind of symptom in Panama wilt? No. Okay, this is how we can differentiate with that of Panama wilt. So when you will take a cross section of the infected stem, we can see oozing of the bacterial cells. Then another typical symptom of Moko wilt is rotting of the fruit. Okay, there the fruits do not show any kind of infection. Generally, fruits will not be formed. If at all they form, the size will be small. That's it. but here you can see rotting of the fruits will be observed. This is one of the characteristic symptom of Moko wilt. Okay, now can you able to differentiate Panama wilt from Moko wilt? So
Yes.
okay, it is clear. Okay, it is very important question. How you will differentiate Panama wilt from Moko wilt? Okay, Panama wilt is seen in older leaves, older plants, whereas Moko wilt is seen in young growing plants in young leaves. Yellowing of older leaves is seen there. Here, yellowing of younger leaves is seen. Another typical symptom of Panama wilt, longitudinal splitting of pseudostem is observed there. But in Moko wilt, you cannot observe such type of splitting of this smell. And discoloration of vascular bundles is observed in both cases. But in case of Panama wilt, the discoloration proceeds from first appears on outer leaf and it proceeds towards inside. Whereas in case of Moko wilt, discoloration first appears in the center leaf and it proceeds towards the outer leaf. Then another difference, foul fishy odor smell is observed if it is infected with odoratum. Here such type of smell is not observed. In addition to this one, infection is not seen in fruits in case of Panama, but brown dry rot is seen in case of Moko wilt. Okay, these are the differences between Panama wilt and Moko wilt. Okay, coming to the survival and spread. Okay, that is bacterial cells, Ralstonia solanacearum. Okay, it is a rod-shaped gram-negative bacterium. Okay, can you able to see? It is a rod-shaped gram-negative bacterium which contain 1 to 4 flagella at its polar end. Okay, these bacterial cells will survive in the soil or they may survive in the infected suckers. They will act as a primary source of infection. Then secondary source is through irrigation. The bacterial cells that spreads through irrigation water. Suppose if this plant is infected with Moko wilt, if you are giving irrigation like this, what will happen? The water will touch this plant and the bacterial cells will spread through entire field and it leads to the death of all the plants. Okay, so even few small practices also matters much. Okay, this how the secondary source will spread. Do you know what do you mean by primary source? What do you mean by secondary source? Primary infection, secondary infection. What do you mean by that? I'm saying in every disease, I'm telling primary infection is due to this, secondary infection is due to this. What it actually means? Primary infection means? Anyone? Don't know? Then people have never asked me what it is.
Primary infection is the first introduction of the disease, and the secondary infection is the continuation of the life cycle of the disease.
Okay, this you are near. Primary infection means, suppose if you are sowing the crop. Now, suppose now you want to sow the banana crop. You are sowing now. How initially the disease is going to come? What is the actual source for this disease at initial stage when you have sown? That is called as primary infection. Nothing but initial infection. When you have sown a crop or when you have transplanted a crop, how you are going to get the disease at first? That will call as a primary source. Suppose we have sown a banana plant. Okay, so if we have sown an infected sucker, that will become a primary source because that sucker itself is having the disease. Or if we are sowing in the field which is having the bacterial cells inside the soil, that will be the primary source. Then how the secondary source? Secondary means how it is spreading from one plant to another plant. That is called secondary source. Suppose this is an infected plant due to primary infection. Suppose you have planted a single infected sucker that caused primary infection, and this plant, suppose one plant has infected with the disease. Suppose if you are irrigating this field, what will happen? The bacterial cells will automatically spread to the other plants. Okay, that is called as secondary infection. Did you get my point?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, that is the actual meaning of primary source and secondary source. And then coming to the management, how we can manage this disease. So collection and destruction of infected plant. This management practice you can give to any disease irrespective of anything. Then managing plant quarantine measures. Okay, I have forgot one point. This Moko wilt disease is not present in India. Try to remember, Moko wilt disease is not present or prevalent in India. Okay, and this Ralstonia solanacearum, the race that is present causing this disease is race 2. Try to remember this one. This is also important for your competitive exams. What is the race that is responsible for Moko wilt? It is nothing but race 2. And in India, this disease is not present. So we have to go for plant quarantine measures. What is quarantine? You cannot write this practice for all the diseases. Go for plant quarantine. Can you recommend plant quarantine measures for Panama wilt or for Sigatoka?
No, sir.
No. Why? Because the disease is present everywhere where banana is there. Means it has spread long back itself. So there is no question of quarantine measures. But now I'm saying that Moko wilt, it is caused by Ralstonia solanacearum. That disease is absent in India, but it is present in other parts of the world. So we have to manage strict quarantine measures. If you are not going for quarantine measures, what will happen? That disease will automatically enter to India also. That's the reason we have to follow very good quarantine measures has to be followed. Now the present COVID. COVID is whether COVID virus is present in India previously? No, it has been originated in China.
No, sir.
But our
Sir.
we have not taken proper quarantine measures. If we have taken quarantine measures immediately when World Health Organization has said that there is a new virus infecting and causing death of people in China, the India still through air, okay, through air, so many people have come from different places and spread it to India also. If we have taken very good quarantine measures at early time itself, that virus might have not present in India. So quarantine, it is a very important practice to follow. Particularly, you see how the impact of the disease. If we have followed very good quarantine measures, okay, we might have not faced the present situation what we are at present. Okay, what do you mean by quarantine? Anyone? Quarantine means what?
Isolation.
It is a legal restriction imposed to prevent the entry of any kind of diseased plants or any kind of diseases from other country to the imported country where the disease is not present. Quarantine means 40 days. Okay, it is derived from a Latin word. Quarantine means 40 days because in olden days people used to suffer from smallpox, chickenpox, plague. Okay, when the people are coming from other countries through ship, they used to keep them for 40 days under observation. Okay, if they are free from the diseases, then only they used to allow them to come into our country. Okay, you might have experienced about this quarantine recently very well. Okay, when the people are coming from other countries, government of India has recommended to stay them in quarantine for 14 days. Okay, right? Okay, that are different kind of quarantine measures to be followed. Then another management practice, disinfestation of tools with formaldehyde and water. Why? Anyone? We have to disinfect the tools. Now he is using a tool. He is using sickle. Suppose if he have if he has cut an infected plant with this sickle, if he is using the same sickle for cutting a bunch from another healthy plant, automatically the disease will spread. Why? You can see here. Can you see? Suppose if we have cut this such type of infected plant, these bacterial cells will stick to the sickle or any kind of implement. If you are using the same implement to another plant, obviously it will spread the disease. That's the reason when such, so you have to disinfect all the tools with formaldehyde and water. And the same flood following can be followed during half season, and you can do crop rotation with rice. These are some of the cultural practices. And growing of Cavendish varieties like Karpura Chekkarkeli, they are resistant to this Moko wilt. In addition to this, fumigation of infected site with methyl bromide and chloropricline is recommended, and soil drenching with 1.5% bleaching powder or 1% Bordeaux mixture is also recommended. But keep in mind, this disease is very difficult to manage. These are all some preventive measures. That's it. Once you are going to get this disease means it's very difficult to manage. Okay, that's about the management of the Moko wilt of banana. Okay, any doubts regarding these three diseases? So finally, I will sum up this class. Okay, today we have seen three important diseases of banana. One is Cicotoca leaf spot, the other one is Panama wilt, the another one is Moko wilt. Cicotoca leaf spot, the typical, we can see typical spindle shaped spots with dark brown margin, grayish center surrounded by a yellow halo. This disease is severe during rainy season, and Cavendish varieties are highly susceptible to this disease. The best chemical recommended for this management of this disease is propiconazole at the rate of 0.1% to 0.2%. Then coming to the next disease, Panama wilt. It is one of the severe disease, and this disease has spread worldwide, and one variety has been wiped out, that is Gros Michel variety, which once it was a popular variety which is having very sweet taste. That variety has been completely wiped out because of this Panama wilt. Okay, it is caused by Fusarium. In India, we are having race 1 type of Fusarium infecting the banana crop. And another one is Moko wilt. It is caused by a bacterium called Ralstonia solanacearum. This disease is not prevalent in India. It is caused by a race. Okay, in India, Ralstonia solanacearum race 2, not in India. Generally, race 2 of Ralstonia solanacearum causes this disease. And I have already discussed about the differences between Fusarium, Panama wilt as well as Moko wilt. Okay, that is very important. Panama wilt you will be seeing generally these symptoms observed on older leaf, whereas in case of Moko wilt we can be observed on younger plants. Here yellowing of older leaves is seen, here yellowing of younger leaves is seen. Longitudinal splitting is noticed in case of Panama wilt. Such type of splitting is not noticed in Moko wilt. Another typical symptom is discoloration proceeds from outer leaf sheath to inner leaf sheath. In case of Moko wilt, it proceeds from inner leaf sheath to outer leaf sheath. Fishy odor smell is observed. It is not observed here. Fruit rot symptom is not seen here. Fruit rot symptom is seen here. Okay, that's about the today's class. Hello students. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. My voice is clear?
Sir. Yeah, sir.
Okay, let us start today's class. In continuation to our last class where we have studied about the important diseases of banana, we have discussed about three important diseases, that is Cicotoca leaf spot, Panama wilt and Moko wilt. And today's class we'll see the rest of the diseases. The first among them is Erwinia rhizome rot. It is caused by a bacterium called Erwinia keratovora, subspecies keratovora. In addition, there is also another species called Erwinia chrysanthema. Okay, you can see rhizome rot. Okay, in the name itself, it implies you can see rotting of the rhizome. Okay, where did you find rhizome in banana? Where did you see the rhizome? Okay, it will be present beneath the soil. Have you not seen rhizome of banana anytime? Okay, coming to the symptoms, water soaked spots. You can see here, water soaked spots will develop on the outer leaf sheet near the basal portion of the stem. Okay, that is nothing, near the basal portion of the pseudostem near to the soil. Okay, slowly what will happen is these water soaked spots turns dark brown and black in color, and you can see severe rotting of the pseudostem as well as rhizome can be noticed. As a result of severe rotting at the basal portion, you can see yellowing and browning of the leaves will be seen. Okay, these are the typical symptoms. In addition to this, when you will take the cross section of the rhizome, okay, this is the pseudostem and this rhizome will be present inside the soil. When you will take the cross section of the rhizome, you can see the development of water soaked pockets. Okay, you can see here water soaked patches will be seen inside the rhizome, and as a result of infection, you will see the development of large sized pockets or cavities. Can you able to see here? You can see the formation of large sized cavities inside this rhizome, and eventually the entire rhizome will get rotten and it hinders the supply of water to the pseudostem. In addition to this, due to severe rotting, the pseudostem will break at the point of infection. As a result, the entire plant will fall down. Okay, these are the some typical symptoms of Erwinia rhizome rot. Coming to survival and spread. Okay, Erwinia, it is a gram-negative bacterium, and it is having peritrichous type of flagellum. Peritrichous means, what do you mean by peritrichous?
More number of flagellum.
Okay, are around the cell. Okay, rod-shaped bacterium cell, or around the cell you will be seeing the presence of flagellum. Okay, very good example for peritrichous type of flagellum. So coming to the primary source, bacterial cells surviving in the soil acts as well as bacterial cells surviving in the infected suckers acts as a primary source of infection. And coming to the secondary source, bacterial cells that spreads through irrigation water from infected plant to healthy plant acts as secondary source of survival. Okay, similar, the survival and spread is similar to that of which disease of banana, which we have studied in last class. It is exactly similar.
Moco disease.
Moco disease.
Okay, that is muco wilt of banana. We have seen the similar survival and spread. Then coming to the favorable condition, young suckers or young plants are highly susceptible to this disease. In addition to this, presence of high temperature, generally at 37 degrees centigrade, you will be noticing high incidence of the disease. In addition, ill-drained conditions and growing of susceptible cultivars like Cavendish and Tella Chakkarakeli are highly susceptible for this disease. Then based upon the favorable conditions and survival and spread, we can go for management practices. Then how can we manage these ill-drained conditions?
Irrigation.
Maintain proper drainage.
Okay, selecting
Through
a,
drip irrigation.
okay, very good. That is, you have to select a well-drained soils, or you have to go for drip irrigation. As I have said that primary source, the bacterial cells are surviving in the infected suckers. So wherever you are seeing the infected plants, you have to rogue it out and destroy it. And another important practice is crop rotation with rice. Okay, I have discussed what is the importance of crop rotation with rice in earlier Moco wilt of banana. Then can we alter the temperature?
No, sir.
No. Now I am saying that high temperature predisposes the incidence of this disease. Can we reduce the temperature of the soil in the field? Can we reduce the temperature?
Yes, sir.
Yes. How?
Yes, sir.
By mulching.
Mulching, sir.
Mulching. Mulching will
Sure.
decrease the temperature or increase the temperature?
So plastic cover.
Okay. Then any other practice to reduce the temperature of the soil? When you will, in summer, if the temperature is very high, what do you do generally? Whether we'll prefer what?
Irrigation.
If the temperature is very high during summers, what we used to do? We'll take excess amount of what?
Water.
Irrigation reduces the temperature.
Okay, very good. So you have to give timely irrigation. Okay, once you give the timely irrigation, what will happen? Automatically the temperature in the soil can be reduced. So this is one important practice. When you are noticing this disease, try to give timely irrigation, thereby you can reduce the temperature. In addition to this, cowpea as intercrop. Okay, someone has said as mulching. Okay, it is also recommended, but here there is a scope for us to go for intercrop because the distance between their two rows in banana is more. So you can go for intercultivation with cowpea. Okay, why? If you grow with cowpea, what it will do? It will act like a mulch. Okay, it will cover the soil and thereby the temperature will be reduced. Okay, like this we can manage the disease. Do you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then coming to the chemical practice, dipping the suckers in 0.5% copper oxychloride solution before planting. Okay, this practice you have to do before planting. Okay, because I am saying that the primary source of infection is coming through infected suckers. You don't know whether that sucker is infected with bacterium or not. So we won't take risk. So you dip it in 0.5% solution so that if any bacterial cells are present on these suckers, it can be destroyed. Suppose you have sown in the field, later on you got the disease. Then we have to drench the soil with 1.5% bleaching powder is recommended to manage this disease. Whether copper oxychloride is a fungicide?
Yes, sir.
And then why we are recommending it for a bacterial disease?
Sir, it's having antibiotic property also.
Okay, not antibiotic, bactericidal properties. Okay, and it is very important for your competitive exam. Name a fungicide which is also having bactericidal properties. Okay, the very good example is copper oxychloride. Okay, that's about the management of this disease. Then coming to the next important disease, that is banana bunchy top, caused by a virus called banana bunchy top virus. Okay, it comes under a family called Nanoviridae, under the genus called Babu virus. The species is banana bunchy top virus. Coming to its genome, it contains positive sense single stranded DNA as its genome. Can you name one any other virus which contain positive sense single stranded DNA as its genome, which we have studied in previous class?
Leaf
Tobacco
Tobacco leaf
Okay,
virus.
perfect. That is tobacco leaf cull virus. There the family is tobacco leaf cull virus comes under which family?
Geminiviridae.
Okay, it comes under Geminiviridae. Okay, so the viruses which contain positive sense single stranded DNA, they are divided into two families. One is Geminiviridae, another one is Nanoviridae. The major criteria they consider for dividing into two families is there in case of Geminiviridae, always the virus particles will be present in twins or in two. Whereas in Nanoviridae, the virus particles will be present as a single virion. That's the reason they have separated into two families, Geminiviridae and Nanoviridae. Okay, why they named it as nano means because the size of the virus virion particle is very small, so they named it as Nanoviridae. and the genus is Babu virus. What do you mean by Babu? Okay, they took 2 letters here, banana, bunchy top. So they named the genus as Babu virus based upon banana bunchy top virus. Okay, that's about the classification. Coming to the disease, this disease was actually, it is not present in India, but it has been introduced during the year 1940 from Sri Lanka. This virus is under domestic quarantine. Okay, you should not carry any kind of banana propagating material either from Kerala, Karnataka, as well as from Tamil Nadu and Northeast. You should not carry any kind of propagating material from these places. Okay, if you carry from one state to another state, if you found it, you will be imprisoned, because it is quarantine. It is a legal restriction imposed in the movement of the planting material to prevent the spread of the disease. Okay, but nowadays we can notice banana bunchy top not only in this disease, not only in these states. In addition, we are noticing in other states also. Okay, because we are not following the quarantine measures very strictly. That is the reason. Okay, this disease is under domestic quarantine. So try to remember, this is very important for your competitive exam. Name a disease which is under domestic quarantine in India. Okay, the very good example is banana bunchy top. Coming to the symptoms. Okay, the very good symptom is, then the name itself, it is there, bunchy top. Okay, the first typical symptom is the infected plant shows stunted growth. Okay, it will be very short. And if you observe, this is a healthy leaf and this is an infected leaf. Okay, the size of the leaf will be very small and it will have very narrow lamina compared with an healthy leaf. In addition to this, the internodal length will be greatly reduced. As a result, all the leaves will be clustered at the top. Can you able to see, all the leaves will be clustered at the top and it gives a bunchy appearance. That's the reason they named this disease as bunchy top. Okay, can you able to see, the internodal length is greatly reduced. As a result, what happened? All the leaves have clustered at the top like this. As it looks like a bunch, they named this disease as bunchy top disease. In addition to this, you can see paling of lamina. Paling means fading of lamina with intervenal fluorosis is also noticed. In addition to this, the very important symptom, it is called as Morse code symptom. Okay, if you observe the leaf very closely, or when you expose the leaf towards the light, you can see dark green lines. Okay, can you able to see dark lines alternating with dots? Okay, you will be seeing a series of lines, then alternating with lines, a series of lines, some dots, lines and some dots. Okay, this symptom is called as Morse code symptom. Have you heard about this Morse code anytime?
Yes, sir.
Please, what do you mean? Okay, through a coded language. Okay, that coded language is called as Morse code. Okay, it contains some lines and dots. Okay, generally the information which is highly confidential and sensitive, particularly regarding to the security of a nation, they will be using this coding language called Morse code language. Okay, generally the military persons will decode this language based upon the number of the dots and based upon the lines. Okay, generally this coding system will be used in military or in army to decode the sensitive information. Okay, that symptom is called as Morse code symptom. In addition, can you able to see here some lines? Okay, short hook-like structures will be pointing down near the midrib towards the petiole. Okay, it resembles like J shape. So they named this symptom as J hook symptom. Okay, they will be short hooks. They will be pointing downwards at the midrib towards the petiole region. As it resembles the shape of alphabet J, they named this symptom as J hook symptom. Okay, these are some of the typical symptoms. In addition, if the infection is seen at early age, the plant never produces any kind of bunch. Okay, if the infection is seen late in the season, you will be seeing the development, you will be seeing the production of bunches, but the size of the bunch will be greatly reduced. You can see, you can compare a healthy bunch with an infected bunch. In addition, generally, I think you have observed the inflorescence of the banana. The bracts of the banana will be having either purple color or pink color. If it is infected with banana bunchy top, the bracts will remain green in color. This is also one typical symptom of banana bunchy top. Then coming to survival and spread. So the primary source of infection is through virus particles present on the infected suckers. And secondary spread is through an insect vector. Can you name this insect? What is this?
Aphids.
Okay, it is aphid.
Aphids black.
Okay. The name of this aphid is Pentalonia nigronervosa. Very important for your competitive exam. Name the insect vector for banana bunchy top. It is an aphid, namely Pentalonia nigronervosa. Acts as a source of vector. Anyone? Okay, it is Colocasia esculenta. It acts as a reservoir host for this virus. Okay, that's about banana bunchy top. Then coming to the next disease, that is called banana mosaic. It is also named as infectious chlorosis. It is also named as hot rot. It is caused by a virus called cucumber mosaic virus. It comes under a family called Bromoviridae. Genus is Cucumovirus. Why they named the genus? They took first two letters CU, then CUMO. Okay, they named the genus as Cucumovirus because the type species is cucumber mosaic virus. Okay, it contains positive sense single-stranded RNA as its genome, and they are spherical in shape. Majority of the viruses that causes diseases in plants contains dash as their genome. Can you name?
DNA, sir.
DNA?
RNA.
RNA, sir.
It is RNA. Generally, they contains positive sense single-stranded RNA as their genome. Then coming to its importance, this virus is also under domestic quarantine. It is present in Gujarat and Maharashtra. So the movement of planting material from Gujarat and Maharashtra is restricted to other parts of the country. Coming to the symptoms, I said in the name itself, mosaic. What do you mean by mosaic? Already have discussed in last class. Okay, alternate
color.
Okay, alternate colors. It may be of anything. Okay, in case of plants, it is nothing but alternate light green and dark green or yellow and green. Okay, that is called mosaic. Okay, can you able to see here? You can see lines or streaks. Okay, light yellow color alternating with dark green. Light yellow color alternating with dark green. So they named this disease as mosaic. We'll call it as streaks. Okay, it depends upon the type of the leaf. Okay, if it is a monocot, the venation will be parallel. Okay, the veins will be present parallel. If it is a dicot leaf, you will be having reticulate type of venation. There you will be seeing patches. Okay, you will be telling it as alternate light green and dark green patches. Okay, as it is a monocot, it is having parallel venation. You will be seeing streaks or lines because the veins restricts the development of the symptoms. That's the reason they mentioned it as parallel chlorotic streaks or parallel chlorotic lines develop on the young leaves alternating with dark green in color. Hence the name mosaic. In addition to this, they named it as infectious chlorosis. Okay, if the infection is seen at young leaves and younger plants, the entire leaf will turn yellow in color. Hence they named this symptom as infectious chlorosis. And another name called hot rot. You can see, but this symptom is observed very rarely. the central leaf, the death of the central leaf is seen, hence they named it as hot rot. That's the reason why they gave different names. Banana mosaic, infectious sclerosis, or hot rot. Coming to survival and spread, it's the same like that of other viral diseases. Virus particles present on the infected suckers, virus particles that spreads through aphids. Okay, here the aphid is Apis gossypi, and there is one reservoir host called cucumber, acts as secondary source of infection. Then coming to the last disease, that is banana bract mosaic. It is caused by a virus called banana bract mosaic virus. Where did you see bracts in banana? What do you mean by a bract?
Flowers card sir, flower.
Okay, very good. That is on the flowers. Okay, you will be seeing mosaic symptoms on the surface of the bracts. So they named this disease as banana bract mosaic. Okay, this virus comes under a family called Potyviridae. Genus is Potyvirus. Where did we study this family and genus in previous class? A very important disease. We studied in papaya. Okay, very good. What is the name of the virus? Papaya ring spot virus. It is papaya ring spot or papaya mosaic virus. That virus also comes under this genus, under this family. It also contains positive sense single stranded RNA as its genome, but it contains shape, it contains fleshuous rods. And coming to the symptoms, can you see the here light chlorotic spots? What is the shape of this spot? Can you able to see? What is the shape? Very good. You can see chlorotic. They will be very light green in color. Slowly it will become yellow. You can see chlorotic spindle shaped spots will develop parallel to the wings. And this is the bract of the inflorescence. Now we can say why they named it as bract mosaic. Can you able to see what is the alternating colors you are observing here? Light pinkish color, dark pink, light pinkish and dark. Okay, if it is anything which is alternating with light and dark color, we call it as mosaic. Okay, here the typical symptom is dark colored pinkish streaks will alternate with light colored streaks, which will develop generally on the bracts of the inflorescence. Hence they named this disease as bract mosaic. Then coming to the another typical symptom, you can observe irregular pinkish lines or pinkish stripes will develop on the surface of the pseudostem. In addition to this, flattening is observed at the top of the plant and all the leaves will be arranged as in case of traveler's palm. Did you observe traveler's palm tree anytime? Have you seen traveler's palm?
Yes, sir.
Where did you see? Okay, it is there in front of our college garden. Have you not seen this tree in front of our college?
Yes, sir.
It is there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is called traveler's palm. Okay, here also generally in case of in case of cooking banana, that is Montan variety, you will be noticing the arrangement of leaves like that of a traveler palm. Okay, these are the typical symptoms of banana bract mosaic. Then coming to the management, coming to the survival and spread, the primary source will be virus particles surviving on the infected suckers. Secondary spread is through aphids, and the reservoir host is also cucumber. Okay, this acts as primary source of infection. Then coming to the management. Okay, in all the virus diseases, I am saying that virus particles surviving on the suckers. Generally, we will use suckers as a propagating material. So, the very important practice generally in banana using tissue culture plants. Generally, in case of banana, in order to get rid of virus infection, farmers are always recommended to use tissue culture plants. Why? Why tissue culture plants are free from viruses?
మెరిస్టమాటిక్ సెల్స్ నుంచి తీస్తాం కాబట్టి అక్కడ సెల్స్ అనేవి ఫ్రీ ఫ్రమ్ వైరస్ ఉంటాయి సార్.
Okay, very good. Exactly, because we are propagating through tissue through meristem tip culture. Meristem means, you know what is a meristem?
Actively dividing.
Okay, the tip, the actively dividing cells which are generally present at the terminal end of the plant. Okay, they are called as meristematic tissues. They will use these tissues for development of these tissue culture plants. Generally, meristematic cells are free from viruses. Why? What is the reason? Why meristematic?
Because meristematic cells divide faster.
Okay, they divide faster. Okay, if they divide faster, what will happen?
Virus cannot enter into it.
Okay, very good. That's the thing is that the cells will be dividing very rapidly in such a way that the virus, even it is very high, the virus even cannot enter. Okay, by the time the virus multiply and tries to enter into the cell through plasmodesmata, the cell might have been divided. So generally the meristematic cells are, that is the reason the meristematic cells are free from viruses. In addition, the development of plasmodesmata in the meristematic cells will be at initial stage. It might be not formed. That's the reason the virus, generally the virus enters from one cell to another cell through plasmodesmata. As the plasmodesmata are still in developing stage, the virus cannot enter through this. That is the reason, because of their actively dividing cells and the plasmodesmata is at formation is at initial stage, the virus particles cannot enter inside this cell. That's the reason the meristematic cells are free from viruses. In addition, another important practice is domestic quarantine measures have to be strictly followed. Okay, if it is banana bunchy top, we have to prevent entry of the propagating material from which states?
Kerala,
Tamil.
Tamil Nadu.
Kerala and Tamil Nadu from South
Karnataka.
India, Northeast from Northern India. And if it is banana mosaic virus,
Maharashtra, Gujarat.
Maharashtra and Gujarat. Then what about banana bract mosaic? Okay, that disease is highly prevalent in Kerala. Okay, they name that disease, exactly remember, they name it as Konkan. Anyone from Kerala? Anytime you have observed banana bract mosaic disease in your place? Okay, that disease is very severe in Kerala and they generally name this disease as Konkan disease. Okay, and rogging of infected plants is also recommended. Then important cultural practice. All these three viruses are spreading through an insect vector called aphid. For aphids, in order to restrict the movements of aphid, we are using the barrier crops. In case of banana, we are recommending sun hemp as a barrier crop to prevent the movement of the vector from infected field to healthy field. Then coming to the management, vector control by using systemic fungicides like dimethoate or methyl demeton is recommended for managing this disease. Then any other doubts regarding